Hello and welcome back to Rihanna Runs More. So we're getting towards the end of the year now and I'm definitely already trying to think about what races to do next year, how to fit them in, what to train for, what's going to be like an extra race to try and get me up at peak for my big main races. And just to try and make it a little bit more fun, I thought I'd come up with a little kind of bingo sheet to go through and see how many prompts I can tick off throughout the year. So I know lots of people do this for like reading challenges, just various challenges throughout the year, really, don't you? You try and like tick everything off. So I've come up with 9 different things for races that you can do just to have a little bit of fun with it. So I'm going to start off by going through all of the prompts and then I'm going to show you how I've popped them in a little grid because I've tried to kind of sort them out so we've got hard ones in every single row or column. And yeah, it's going to be bingo. So you don't have to just get the rows, you can also get the columns if you want to. And then obviously if you get the full house, you've done all your challenges for 2023. So I'll run through the prompts first, then go through the rules, and then we'll just see how we all get on throughout the year. So the first prompt that I'm going to go through is an overnight stay. So this is the biggest one on the board. I don't think you're going to be doing very many overnight stay races. So these are races where they're too far away in order for you to travel in a day. So you're likely to have to either travel the night before and stay, or stay there the day after. So for this one, you're probably looking at, this is probably going to be a big race. Unless, you know, there's a little local race that you just think, you know what, I can pop over, stay at a friend's house, maybe do it with them. That'd be cute, wouldn't it? Second prompt is a repeat race. So this is a race that you've done before, maybe you really liked it, or maybe it's just been a few years since you've done it. And this is just an opportunity to go again, maybe try and beat your old record, or just see how you fared up within the years that you haven't done it. Maybe it's a race you do every year, so hopefully this will probably be quite a nice one to do. I know there's probably quite a few people that maybe do different races every single year to try and spread themselves out, but sometimes returning to a race is also quite fun. So in terms of that one, this one is kind of the opposite. And prompt number 3 is an inaugural race. So this is a race that's going ahead for the first time next year. It might be a little bit tricky for you to find one of these, so definitely just have a look, see what suits you best and see if there's anything new going on. My hope is that this would kind of help any small running businesses that are kind of getting back to what they used to be. I think lots of people have had permissions taken away from land, or they've just been struggling. So most are trying to put on new races to get a new crowd of people in, and obviously we want to try and support that. So an inaugural race, the first time it's being run this year, it could be as fancy as you like. It could be just a small little, maybe there's a school near you that's going to do a fun run to raise money for the PTFA. Maybe that's the thing you want to do. Or maybe it's a big run where they're doing the first marathon in your city. Who knows? I want to know what you come up with though. So if you have one that you've already planned to do, pop it down below so we all know what it is. So maybe we can all come out and support it. In terms of supporting, the next prompt then, so this is prompt number 4 that I'm telling you about, is volunteer at a race. So obviously this doesn't have anything to do with racing itself. It is more just supporting the industry, and also this is going to be like quite a good one for most people because lots of these race companies, they need marshals to go ahead, and so in order to do that they do give you either race credits or they give you something for your time. So being a part of putting the event on, not only do you get to share the day with lots of other runners and make sure the race can go ahead for them, but it could also put some a little bit in your pocket as well, and maybe it'll fund some of those races that you've got coming up. So prompt number 5 is an evening race. So if you are like me and you're definitely a morning runner, you might try and avoid those evening or late night runs. And wow, I've put a prompt down to try and force me into doing a night race. So whether it's one that is pitch black and you have to have your torch, or whether it's kind of like a sunset run, just doing an evening race I thought would be a bit of fun, a little bit of difference to my normal races, and that's why I've put it down as a prompt. Next up, we've got a nice easy prompt. So this is a trail race. So you may be a road runner, you might be a trail runner. I know it can get, there's quite a divide sometimes, isn't there, in terms of who you are. But I've definitely been veering towards road a little bit more as my A races. I think just because trail is so unpredictable. You never really know where the hill's going to be or what's going to happen. So I thought I'll try and do at least one trail race next year and get that done, get that prompt tick off. So if you, like me, are a little bit of a road runner, try it. It might just be a bit of fun. This might be a new thing for you, and this is a race series. So a few race companies around where I am, they're kind of like the same race, but at different times of the year. And in doing that, they kind of call it a series, so you can get involved, you can try and better your time as the kind of months go on, as the year goes on, and just see how you do. They quite often also have like a series prize attached as well. So if you do well in one race, maybe doing another race will get you into that series prize for an extra bonus award at the end of the day. So that's quite fun. For this prompt, to get it all ticked off, you have to do at least 2 races in a series. So series can be as small as 2, or maybe they've got like 7 different races throughout the year. Maybe you've got one that they run it every single month. So that would be 12 in that series. Quite often though, there's a minimum number to be counted towards the series. A few around here are 5. It depends how long the series is though. So check it out and yeah, have a little bit of fun. Maybe look into it if you've never heard about that concept before. If there's a race that you have done that you think, oh, maybe they do this repeated throughout the year, just check it out. See what it's like. Usually those that are on a road that isn't closed, so maybe a public footpath or a cycleway, they're the most likely ones to be repeated and put into a series because it's easier for them to get permission. Whereas obviously if you're closing the roads every single month, it's a bit harder, a bit trickier, like logistics wise, to sort that out. It's just a bit different. It's kind of more focused around goals as opposed to having fun, those kind of races. But again, just having a nice diverse portfolio of races is what this challenge is all about for me. So we've got 2 prompts left and they're both kind of related. So the first one is a race within your home county. So wherever you are in the UK, or maybe you're abroad watching me, I don't know. Wherever you are, a race that's near you within your little district. So for me that would be Devon, maybe you're in Cornwall, so it'd be Cornwall, maybe you're in London, so you've got London to choose from, and all of those different places and races. And if I've written it down as a rule, it's not going to apply to me, but if you are moving throughout the year, your home county will count as the one that you are in at that moment. So say you move, I don't know, from like Sussex down to Cornwall and you move in August, if you've done a Sussex race during that first part of the year, that will still count. Or vice versa, if you didn't do one in Sussex but you're going to do one in Cornwall at the end of the year, that will count. So it's the home county you are in at the time of the race. So then leading on from that prompt, the next one is travel sustainably to a race. So it might be that you've got a race on your doorstep. That'd be perfect, wouldn't it? You just walk up, no car, nothing involved, you're literally just on your trainers already. For me, it's likely that I'll just cycle down to a race that's probably in the city centre, and that would be a sustainable way to get there as opposed to trying to find a lift or something like that. Alternatively, if you are a little bit further out and it is harder, find some other people that are going to the race, car share with them. That's more sustainable than you each making the same journey. You could also have a look at the public transport. So in a way that could sort of link itself up with the whole overnight stay. So if you're having to travel by train somewhere, that's more sustainable than driving, but equally it might be slower, so you might have to stay overnight. So yeah, just thinking about ways that we can make these, like doing more races, better for the environment, because I think having like 1,000 people turn up for a race all in different cars probably isn't the best way to be looking after our outdoor environment, is it? So onto the rules. I've just popped up the diagram of how I've laid them out. So I've tried to make it so that there is a hard one in every single column and a hard one in every single row as well. So hopefully you agree and think that's okay. So the top row, if you're going for rows, you've got overnight stay, you've got inaugural race, and you've got volunteer at a race. So my thoughts is, if it's a new race, that's cool, and you probably want to go ahead and do it. However, it's also good to still support those races that are still going ahead year on year on year. So maybe taking a little seat, being a volunteer and letting other people run it would also be great. And then you've got the overnight stay, which is quite tricky for you. Row 2, you've got repeat race, so a race that you've done before, an evening race, and then travel sustainably to a race. So within this row, I think for some of you, traveling sustainably to a race is a tricky one here. It might not be, it's just my thoughts, but it definitely makes you think about what kind of distance you are. So especially if you're gonna run or walk or cycle there, you may not want to be doing a full marathon, because at the end of that, you are not going to want to get back home. Then the last line that I've left myself is trail race, race series, and one in my home county. So the race series in this row is the hard one, because you have to do more than one. So it's going to take at least twice as many days. You know, unless there's a series where they do it all on the same day. You know, it's just more commitment than all of the others. So that is my bingo board. Let's go through the rules. So I went through prompt specific rules when I just went through all the prompts. So scroll back in the video if you're a little bit questionable about some of those prompts. But any race that you do in 2023 count. If a race is cancelled though, you will have to try and find another one. So there will probably still be races cancelled within 2023, either because there hasn't been enough sign-ups or something's gone terribly wrong and they've just had to cancel. In order to count towards this challenge, you need to have run it. I know, but you can't just be paying for races and then not turning up. That's not how it works here. So you have to do it in 2023. Doesn't count if it's 2024 or 2022. 2023 only. If you are looking at an easier way to do all these races, you can double up prompts, or maybe even triple, or maybe you find 4 prompts that you can hit with one race. You know, that'd be the dream. So have a look at the prompts and see where you can double up, because again, in terms of being cost effective and a little bit more sustainable, you want to almost be doing less races. So having a challenge where I'm telling you, right, go out and do 9 races. You know, if you're doing one every month, that's 9 months of the year already sorted out with an event. So if you want to halve that and try and double up prompts, you can definitely do that. So I had an example here where if you do like an evening trail race, that's part of a series, that's already 3 prompts. Just remember that for the series, you need to do at least 2 of them in that series. At the end of the year, you are looking for the most amount of rows or columns. So if you've done all 3 in that line, so if you've done all 9, you're sorted, you've done it all. Or if you've picked and chosen which ones you wanted to do, try and line them up. So just complete a little bit more. You know, don't try and just get bits here and there. You want to complete the lines, you want to complete the columns. That is the challenge. Don't have to complete all of them. It's just, you know, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like you can do, because races can get expensive. This is just a bit of fun at the end of the day. Lastly, if you are going to go out and create your own board, try to put in a tricky one in every single row and every single column, because there are going to be some prompts that you think, oh, I don't really want to do that. Challenge yourself, you know? If you, say, really think 10k is your distance, maybe putting in a half marathon as one of the prompts, that's your hard prompt, because that's going to take dedication, that's going to take commitment. Maybe you just really, really, really hate running on sand. Maybe you put a beach race on your list, and trust me, I know there are some out there, so there are definitely races where you have to run on sand. You know, you can be as mean on yourself as you want if you're making your own board. I've obviously made mine just to have 9 little prompts, just for a bit of fun, see what I can get going throughout the year, especially because I'm trying not to do too many races, but also I just want to have a bit of fun with it. So that's my little bingo board for the year. I hope you enjoy it. I'm not going to be focusing on completing this board. I've got some goals for next year that I will go through at some point, and they're just going to hopefully just be ticked off. Maybe at the end of the year I'll have a look and be like, oh, did I do it? Did I not? Who knows? But I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's given you some inspiration as to what to do next year in terms of your running, whether you're running for a time or just running for some fun. I hope this board gives you some more prompts and just something to think about, you know. I've tried to make it as open as possible so those that are running fast times can still join in, those that are new to running can also join in. So I really hope that, you know, you give it a go, see what it's all about, and hopefully if it's good, if it's a success, maybe we'll do one next year as well.